Okay, hi everyone, Daryl here. This video I'm doing as a review of the 5 semesters that I've been through at the SUSS School of Law. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is because I had some juniors that actually came up to me and asked, like, they are thinking of maybe deferring a module, maybe redoing a module, and then after that, they're actually asking me whether it gets easier as time goes by or it gets more difficult as time goes by. So spoiler alert, right? I do think that as time goes by, right, it actually gets easier in law school, save for some modules which I personally found to be challenging. Yeah, but okay, so I'm actually going to run through right all the modules that I've taken. Then I'm going to give you guys a rundown right of what I thought about the module, and then maybe that might put allay some anxieties for those who are going to take these modules in future. And it may also serve as a useful point of reference right for people who are thinking of entering the SUSS School of Law. Okay, I just a point to note. Okay, so I actually did my first degree in one of the local universities, and I would say that the standard right is quite on par with NUS. Okay, so like if you want to be close to the top right, you really need to put in effort. Okay, and it's something that I think the university holds very true to. Like it's not easy to get a good grade for every module, so you really have to work for it, and you have to be laser focused. And it's of course challenging if you are working and then you have family like myself, right? But I do think that with all these challenges, right, you actually become a more disciplined person. So as time goes by, right, I realize that I become more disciplined in everything. So in my work, in my family life, in my exercise regimen, with my diet, everything right comes together, and I would attribute this level of discipline right that I have currently to law school. Okay, and one of the things that I see the biggest change that I see myself right is that I really segment my time right, like literally, like if there's 1 hour to eat right and do my readings right for lunchtime, I literally do my readings every lunchtime. There's no compromise that next day there's class right, then sometimes I'm dead tired, like sometimes I come back from work right, like 8 9 p.m. right, then I've been at work since like 9 plus all the way till like almost like 10 11 hours of thinking. Then after I come back right, I still have to do my readings, but there's no excuse. So in the beginning right, I felt that it's really really very tough. But as time goes by right, I realized that this level of discipline that I have right is helping me not only in law school, but it's also helping me with my work, with my personal life, in terms of like keeping fit, keeping healthy, sticking to a diet. It's helped immensely. Okay, but yeah, and I think that's one of the things that I really appreciate. Law school for. Okay, so what I'm going to do right, I'm going to run through what I went through. So I think like I'm in my 5th semester, and maybe I'm a bit more entitled to give an opinion now. So for all of you guys who are going to go through the same path as I am or I have done, maybe this is something that you would like to hear, so you can actually hear my feedback on what I went through. Okay, so actually when I first entered SUSS School of Law, right, then I went through the boot camp. So if any of you guys right who entered SUSS School of Law, of course you've been through boot camp. Okay, so my tutor for legal writing and IT essentials, right, is that by Prof. Ko? I can't remember. It's like, I think it's or is it critical thinking and legal interpretation? Okay, either one. Okay, so my first boot camp class right was by our vice dean, Prof. Darren Ko. So he set the stage really well. So like when I came in right, I was like, okay, what's law school all about, right? Like I mean, I didn't do much law modules. I think I only did like maybe a business law module or something like that in my previous degree in NUS. Then that was about it. So maybe I like briefly touched on the Companies Act, but that was like 2 decades ago. So then he actually set the stage of what to expect. Then it was quite a shock because all the while I thought that, get good grades means you can get like 70 plus, like in A levels, right? I think an A is about 70 and above, right? So I thought like maybe down here I should aim for like 70 plus. Then when I got back my in-class assignment, then it was like 60 plus, right? Then I was like, okay, so maybe this one need a bit more effort, and then it was really nice because Prof. Darren Koh, right? He kind of puts everyone in place. Then after that, kind of sets you up for what to expect. So it was very nice that I got him as my bootcamp tutor. Then after that, for the second bootcamp class, right, I got dean. I got a dean. So like, if you don't know what person who is, you never seen a sharp mind before, right? Sharp legal mind, right? Then you have to maybe enter a class with dean. Then after that, you will see why is he a senior counsel? So actually, he kind of dissected the case that we were reading, and then he pointed out that most of the time it's like materially on one point. So then actually this stuck in my head throughout law school, and then we actually read the case that even till today, right, after 5 semesters and so many modules in law school, right, I still like the case of Bei Chiu Bu. Okay, so if you guys are into like criminal law and stuff and all that, right, then you read this case of Bei Chiu Bu, then it's my favorite case that I read in law school thus far. You don't ask me why, I just resonate with it. Okay, so I think I was very fortunate to get these 2 tutors in my first two modules, because it was 3 tutors, right? So dean, vice dean, and head of program, which is Prof. Dean, right? Who would we were sort of like randomly placed in study or like T groups. Then after that, we will get 2 out of 3 of them. Then fortunately for me, I got I felt I was very fortunate, because eventually I got taught by Prof. Lin as well. And it was in year 2, Sem 2, right, that I was taught by Prof. Lin. So actually, I have the honor of being taught by the dean, the vice dean, and then the head of program in my law school journey. Okay, so not many students can say that, and I count that as my blessing. Okay, and then after that, right, we had introduction to social services. I didn't like that. I totally didn't like that. It was like totally uninteresting to me, and then it was a bit. I felt that was one of the most challenging modules that I had to take. Okay, and to date, right, that is my. I think that's my poorest grade. Okay, the rest of my grades are generally quite okay. That one actually caused me a bit of issue. Then after that there will be legal methods and the Singapore legal system. Okay, that was taught by Mr. Ranner Orr. Okay, so Mr. Ranner Orr, right, he's a very, 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 very patient tutor. So he kind of helped a lot, because he's the IRAC guy. He's the guy who will set out how all your essays moving forward would flow in law school. So even though it's a very general module in the sense that it's not like criminal law whereby you study the penal code, but Mr. Ranner Orr's class, right, is very, very important, and he's actually really very key in the way that I craft my essays. Yeah, and then after that, so he helps you get the basics of how you're supposed to craft a legal issue in a submission. Okay, so that was very important, and then I felt that he did a really, really good job. Okay, then after that was year 1, Sem 1. So we did 4 modules for year 1, Sem 1. Then we got year 1, Sem 2. I did law of business organizations, which was I was taught by Mr. Ben Chester Chong. So this guy, right, he's like super passionate, okay, and then I don't know how he does it, okay, but then he's like super passionate about teaching, and he's very, very passionate about helping students. So if you don't get we call him BCC, you don't get BCC, right, I don't know, there's something wrong with you. Okay, this guy, you put in the effort, right, he will put in the effort to help you as well. Okay, and then you just go and see how he tries to make a lot of business organization and interesting. Okay, so he does like this Kahoot thing. Until today, right, the Kahoot song is ringing in my head. Okay, so there's this. You go to Kahoot, right? Then you go to Kahoot. Then there's this music that runs while he does all the questions in quizzes. Then you go and answer. Yeah, then it's very useful. So he makes, and his study unit notes, right, totally fantastic. You just follow his study units, right, and then just do his readings, right. You should be able to go through what we call LBO, Law of Business Organizations, pretty okay. Then we did constitutional and administrative law. So like this called Consti or constitutional law. So I got Miss Olivia Lin. I think she's one of my classmates' favorite tutors. In the beginning, right, she was a bit fierce, because we had her on Zoom class, right. Then she's like, oh, you all have to come at like 7 o'clock. But after a while, right, you realize, right, that I mean, in the beginning we were like, oh, wow, this tutor quite fierce. Okay, then some of us actually rushed from work, so we were a bit late to the Zoom class. But after a while, right, when you get to know her, right, then I think some of my friends actually attribute the turning point in law school essay writing to Miss Lin. I know that one of my good friends in law school, right, this guy called Jonathan, he attributes the way that he writes, right, to Miss Lin. So after Miss Lin went through his essay and pointed out things that could help him, right, then he started scoring like 70s, like almost all the way 70s in all his TMAs. Okay, so like you really have to listen to the nuances, and she really borders. So like I was like struggling in year 3 for like some of my TMAs in criminal law. Then she was like kind enough to ask me about it. Then you can see that actually she's really one of the most passionate teachers that S Law has. Okay, and then like introduction to forensics, right, was quite boring because I hate science. But then I managed to ace it. So like, oh, thank you for helping my CGPA. So okay, that's it. But it's like whatever went into my head, right, like quite a lot. I mean, I have to read the notes, then it will help me. But I think it's useful because in future, if we're doing criminal law, right, then we would have to somewhat know some of this stuff. So I appreciate the faculty for putting this module into the syllabus, because it will help us. But then, like for me, right, I'm literally allergic to science. So like I can't take it. But I did well for it. So like no complaints. Okay, so it's just like grinding your head. You really have to go and remember everything. You have to remember everything. Where is everything? Then after you answer. Yeah, then that one got me a very good grade. Okay, so then the next was this ethics. So this one is Mr. Yo Chuan Tak. Yeah, and then I used to joke with Mr. Yo. So like this module very important. Okay, you cannot fail ethics. Because you fail ethics, then it's on your transcript, right? Then you go out and then law firms will be like, what the heck, this guy failed ethics. Then so Mr. Yo, right, has amazing ability, right, to take procedure, right, and then digest it and then regurgitate it, right, to you, right, in a way whereby it's palatable, right? So like literally I kind of credit him for my grades in ethics, because ethics really very boring. You read the textbook, can fall asleep type. Okay, so he's really very good. Then for thoughts, right, also then after I went to year 3, year 2 sem 1, right, I did thoughts and contract and civil litigation. So contracts and civil litigation, right, contracts was by Prof. Yap. Then civil litigation, right, Mr. Yo covered the civil litigation part. So it was like, I think 2 or 3 classes whereby it was civil litigation. Then the remaining I think 9 or 10 classes, right, was Prof. Yap. So Prof. Yap, right, seriously just listen very carefully, listen very attentively in class. Every lesson, please please prepare your discussion questions. Then Prof Yap, right, she's like this mother bird, right, who will go and chew up all the food, then come and give to all her little kids, right? All, and then after that, like, you know, just give you all the skills you need to go and answer all the contract law questions. And amazingly, right, she makes contract law, right, very simple. Okay, so if you get Prof Yap, right, please go and try and ace contracts, because you cannot get a better tutor, right, to give you a better study unit. And she simplifies the principles, right, into I mean, it's so simple, you know, she makes it so simple that, you know, please go and try and ace contracts. Okay, it's something that will help your CGPA. Then for TOTS, right, TOTS was challenging. Okay, it's really extremely challenging, and nobody gets it first time round. Okay, but I got Mr. Michael Ng, and then he's like, you know a smart person when you see one. Okay, so when this guy comes to class, right, then Mr. Michael Ng will start taking out all the whiteboards. Okay, he'll start taking out all the whiteboards. He'll use all the, okay, not very environmentally friendly, but that's about it. Okay, so face it, we are lawyers. Okay, so please try to be more environmentally friendly elsewhere, because we waste a lot of paper. Okay, so then I'm not for it. Okay, I'm all for the save our earth type of ideal. Okay, so Mr. Michael Ng, right, he will go and dissect a case, right. Every single paragraph, right, he will tell you. I remember the most amazing, one of the most amazing moments in law school, right, was him dissecting this case called Aman Resorts. Okay, so it was actually a dispute, right, about passing off. Okay, so there's this tortious action called passing off. So it's like some development, I think it's over at Yio Chu Kang Lentor Road, that was trying to pass off as this Aman Resorts, which was this upscale resort around the world. Okay, so it had some super branded place. But the most amazing point, one of the most amazing instances in law school, right, was when Mr. Ng could actually take the case. He dissected every single paragraph, what the court was trying to say to come to a conclusion for that case. And he drew out the whole thing. The whole whiteboard was full of words. And he spent a good, I think, about half an hour to 45 minutes just explaining the whole case. Then after that, the whole class was silent. Then after that, what I did, right, was I went to take photograph of everything. I read the SU myself, I didn't understand what the heck was passing off, like totally like what rubbish. Then but Mr. Ng, right, he could do that. Then, you know, hey, this guy is like, wow, he's really, you know, he's really quick and really sharp. I remembered I organized, so normally, I mean, I take the initiative. Okay, you guys should also. So what I do, right, is that if I'm going to meet the tutor, right, I try to waste his time. So I'll ask classmates, hey, you want to come along or not? I'm asking Mr. Ng for a consultation. Then after I'll get my classmates to come along. So we all emailed him a list of questions. Then after that, he came to Starbucks, right, to meet us with a piece of paper. So we thought that this piece of paper contained the answers to what we asked, but didn't know. Actually, the question contained our questions. Then he was actually able to explain everything, right, there and then. He could remember things on the top of his head, which is quite amazing. It's really sharp. So if you get him, right, yeah, it's really good tutor. Teach you how to break down the whole case. Okay, then after that was the end of year 2. Then I entered year 3. Was it year 3? No, sorry. That's the first semester of year 2. Then after that, the second semester of year 2, right, I did criminal law 1 and criminal law 2. So criminal law 1, right, is the substantial portion whereby we studied the criminal we studied the penal code. That one was taught to me by Mr. Paul Chong. Then after that, for criminal procedure, right, was taught to me by Prof. Lin. Okay, so criminal law, the substantive one, where we studied the penal code, that was where I got all my grey hairs. Okay, so initially when I entered law school, my hair was black. There was some grey, okay, but after going through this criminal law, studying the penal code, then my whole head turned grey, okay. It's black now because I colored it, okay. Yes, I'm vain, okay, whatever, but I don't want my head to all be grey. Okay, so I actually colored my hair, yeah, and now I realize that it's permanent. So actually, thanks to law school and law 309, my hair is permanently grey. Yeah, then but Mr. Chong is absolutely patient. So you get like Mr. Paul Chong, right? He's absolutely patient. He's really he really speaks from someone who has the relevant experience, right? Dealing with matters that he's actually teaching. So I think it's not so much about distilling what he has to say in class, but I think that if you would like advice as to what to do in law school and after law school, then Mr. Paul Chong is one of the people who you need to speak to. Okay, and he's a really, really very patient guy. He's a very nice guy. So please go and speak to him if you need any advice. Okay, I have sought advice from him, I think maybe once or twice, and he just shared with me his experience. I mean, I told him what I wanted. I know what I want, and then he was able to be upfront about it and tell me whether what I was about to do would get me what I wanted. Okay, so I think that's very important for me. I'm a person who, you just tell me what I need to do to get what I want. Okay, then I will go and do it. Okay, no need to talk too much. Okay, then after that, right, then I got Prof. Lin for the procedural portion. So like that's studying the criminal procedure code, the CPC. Then for Prof. Lin's class, right, you better be prepared. Okay, in the beginning, I really very stressed, but Prof. Lin is super amazing. He makes criminal procedure sound fun, and you actually look forward to his class after a while. Then I think, right, he must be thinking, this Daryl, every week, right, I answer question, then every week, kena from Prof. Lin, like he will ask me why, or he'll start to question your train of thought. But after a while, you realize he's really training you, to think like a criminal lawyer, and then after a while, right, you sense that, hey, this guy is really passionate about like criminal law, then, and actually so far in law school, right, despite the fact that I struggled the most with crim law, after going through 309 and 311, right, my favorite modules are actually crim law modules. I actually look forward, I actually miss, right, 309 and 311, but 309 was the toughest module, right, to me, in my whole law school journey. Like, hands down, like 309, cannot get it. Daryl Lam, cannot get it. Okay, but I wanted a certain grade, then I just got it. I got that grade, and then I just moved on. Okay, but till today, right, that means now I'm doing fam law. I miss 309 and 311. Okay, and then that just tells me, right, that maybe that is the journey that I would have to consider when I get out there after my degree. Okay, so yeah, it's really, really very interesting, and it kind of marries everything because I was so interested in constitutional law. Like, that was like maybe that and crim law were my favorite modules. I totally miss consti, I totally miss law 309, 311. Like, even till today, right, once in a while I read the cases that actually I did in 309, 311 or in consti, I would actually go and read my previous consti notes, and then after that I can actually remember some of the cases by heart. Okay. Yeah, then this sem right is my 5th semester, so I'm doing the 2 family modules. So I got I'm doing the 1 family module and I'm doing 1 property. So I got Miss Rufio for Fam 1. So we're doing the portion about marriage and divorce. So Miss Rufio, right, she's actually new to the faculty, but her classes are really enjoyable. And then she breaks down the SU, right, very systematically. So if you actually pay attention and you prepare for class, right, then Miss Yeo, right, is able to confirm what you already know and clarify your doubts. She's very systematic. So of all my tutors, right, she's the most systematic, and she's very patient, and she gives a lot of I think she puts in a lot of effort, and she gives a lot of her advice as to how we should conduct ourselves as family lawyers. And you can sense that she really believes what she says, because she's very passionate when she shares about, oh, you shouldn't be doing this, don't do this, it's always heal the rift. Then therapeutic justice, you can, like now I hear section 46, therapeutic justice, heal the rift, right? Then straight away I think of Miss Yo, okay, something like that, okay. Then after I got Miss Zahara, right, for property law. Then Miss Zahara, right, she's really sharp. She's another one, right, who can take the case. Then she tell you, this para says this para says this para says this. Then after that, right, you realize that actually when I rewatch, okay, so I rewatch the lecture. So let's say my class is on Thursday, right? Thursday is my property law module seminar. So that means that Thursday 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. right will be my property law class. Then on Friday I will rewatch what I went through on Thursday, because they will release the lecture notes on Friday. So I'll go through the lecture notes with a recording of what Miss Zahara went through, and then relook at my readings, then do my final notes in preparation for exam. So it's just a heads up. So for me, right, the revision portion, right, that 1 month before exam, right, that one is like almost no use to me, because for me, right, I cannot wait until then. It just happens that always during exam period, right, my office is very busy. So like for this semester it's the same. Okay, so I have to prepare myself for the exams, right, incrementally up to the exam date. Okay, so in essence, right, if you ask me to go and take because family law, right, we had this time TMA, so we actually had to, we don't know the TMA. The TMA they release 10 a.m. then we got to submit at 11:30. So by right, at study unit all the way up to study unit 11, right, already prepared already. All my notes are done. Only study unit 12, because study unit 12 was not in this time TMA. So I do the same for all modules, and then I realized that actually like that better also. Then you won't be so stressed before exams. Yeah, but in essence, right, I think a lot of you guys will be thinking, hey, this guy only have very good things to say. I think you need to go and, a lot of us need to look at ourselves, right? Then we need to think, actually, if you say the tutor no good, then how come some people are scoring? Okay, so in your class, right, it's not your tutor who marks your TMAs always. Sometimes it's the other tutor. Then how come that other tutor mark your class TMA, right? Then there are some people who are in the 70s. So it's very easy to blame, say I can't get it or whatever. So sometimes I also say I can't get it, but actually if you put in the effort, right, you go and think about it very carefully, right, actually it's doable. So if you ask me very carefully, right, if any of you guys are thinking that maybe I don't know whether I'm cut out for this, then year one very difficult, then I want to delay my modules later or something like that. What I'm trying to tell you is that, right, try to follow what your tutor says, then try to go through the flow. That means that you don't kick the can down the road. If possible, right, try to scrape through the module, try to fight through. Then actually, right, it gets easier as time goes by. In the past, right, I think a lot when I do TMA. So like now, right, my work is extremely busy. So my TMAs, right, are literally like I prepare all my notes. Then after that, right, I do my TMA within like 2 hours. So I'm every TMA to me is a time TMA. I don't have time to go and review how many times. I wish I could. Okay, if I had the time, right, I would do it, but I don't. Okay, so my only edge, right, is that I prepare everything so that I'm ready when the exam comes. But at the same time, right, actually I am blessed to have quite good tutors. So if any of you want to know, right, yeah, it actually gets easier, and then after a while, right, you don't feel so stressed. So if you're feeling very stressed in year one now or year two, don't worry. Actually, when it comes to year three, right, family module is, in my opinion, a happier module. Okay, not that you don't need to study. Okay, you need to study, but then it just seems more palatable. And then although it's very conceptual, right, but if you do the readings and then you put in the effort, you will see the rewards. It's not as daunting as maybe like torts or crim law, and so it gets easier. Then for property, right, it's something that we deal with, and Singaporeans in general are very passionate about property. So if you have the interest, right, then when you come and study properties, it's better. So but try not to overload it, an enjoyable semester with like a module that you 打包, from previous semester. This 打包 is from NUS and NTU lah. Last time if you 打包, you need to take the module again. That's where I get this term from lah. Okay, so in my honest opinion, right, if you're feeling stressed, the exams are coming up, then don't be. Just remember that every semester, right, you go through, so long as your CGPA is around there, within the zone that you need to be, focus on studies first. Don't go and join all the other things that don't affect your CGPA. It doesn't really add up. If you can't be called to the bar, right, then what's the point of you being I don't know, go and participate in some whatever event. I only started participating in some sports because I'm a very sporty person in year 3. Okay, so before that, right, I was laser focused. I never bothered about whatever other competition. People tell me, right, essentially you don't need to tell me, don't talk to me. I know what I want. Okay, so you need to know what you want, be laser focused, and don't worry, it gets better. Okay, so I'll feedback to you guys whether next time is even better. Yeah, but that's all from me, and thanks for watching. See you in the next video.